Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Global Digital Success Talk. So today we're going to be talking about embracing the learning curve. So let's introduce first ourselves. So hi, everyone. For those of you who doesn't know me, my name is Sandy. I'm originally from Panama. I currently reside in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. I work in the movie industry, and I'm a digital business owner.
Hola, hola. Hello, everyone. My name is Isabel. I'm originally from Mexico, but I live in North Carolina, USA. I'm a teacher assistant for the school system. I'm married. I have 2 kids, and I also have my digital business.
Thank you, Isabel. Okay, so I we just want to remind that we had the live webinar on Thursday. So if you guys didn't have the chance to watch it, you can just send us register in our website, and then we can send you the replay for the live webinar. So on Thursday, we had the host Tina, who is a retired business development manager, and then for the panelists, we have Monica, which is a former retail manager. Then we have Jay, a former educator, and Patricia, a healthcare worker.
Okay,
It's a
we also had Grace. She's a former restaurant manager. We had Hadisa. She's in healthcare. And we had
Linda.
Linda,
Yes,
Linda, and I
she's
can't
a
really.
health she's a healthcare worker.
Okay, and then the last one, Sandy, can you say it? I can't really see it.
Yes. Okay, it's her. The last panelist is Lady, and she's a registered nurse.
Mm. Okay, so welcome everyone. Today we're diving into the concept of learning curve. It's a powerful way to visualize our progress when we are learning something new. At first, it might feel like we're moving at a snail pace because everything is going slow. But with persistence and practice, our growth speeds up significantly.
Yes. And our first point for today is we're going to be talking about personal stories of learning curves. So, for example, for me, I would say, one of the learning curve, and I'm still learning, is about advertising. So it's a learning, because like I'm learning YouTube and also I'm learning Facebook at the same time. Now in one I have a more knowledge than the other, but it's still, it's still a learning process, because as you know, like technology is always changing. So you have to keep up, with all these changes, and sometimes what you learn is no longer applicable, and then you have to modify. So yeah, so it's a learning curve, but I think I can see, like from what I was at the beginning, where I didn't understand anything when I first was exposed to that. Um, Now, like I have a better understanding. I still have to go through the training, and keep learning because, like it's something that is new to me that I'm not like I didn't know before. So yeah, so it does for me for in terms of advertising, like my learning curves is still growing, like I'm not out there yet like an experience, but like I'm learning as I go.
Yeah, well, let me share my story. When I first started, and I think I already shared this many times, but when I saw this opportunity, I didn't want to take it because I had fear because I didn't know anything about technology. I'm not a tech savvy, so I didn't know if I could do it, if I could learn. I didn't know if I could go on camera and do this live like I'm doing now. And I was just afraid. I'm like, I like the business, I like the model, but I don't know if I can do that because I was shy, I was afraid, and my confidence wasn't there because I was always, the type of person that was like the one that didn't know a lot. So I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And so when I started, it took me a while. And when I started the training, I actually skipped some of the subtabs because I was, I don't know, I think I was going fast, thinking I was actually learning something, but without meaning, I skipped some of it because I didn't know that inside a tab there was sub tabs. And like I said, I didn't know much about this computer part, so I think that played a little bit in it for me to skip some of it. But now, I'm not a professional by any means. I don't know a lot. I'm still learning, but I feel more confident about myself now. I know where to go. And if I don't, I know the right people that can help me, that can guide me, and they can give me advice as where to go or how to do some of the things that I need to do. But you know um, everything is a learning curve, and even us, I've been in the business for a year now, and I'm still learning. Every day is a learning process, and we're always learning something new, especially because our business is online. And so, every platform, every app, everything is changing and it's constantly getting updated. And so we have to keep updating ourselves, learning the new changes and adapting to that. So that's what we have to do for this business. But it's also exciting because every time we learn something, we're like, hey, we know how to do that now. Or we call each other and we're like, hey, did you learn how to do that? Because I don't get it. So it's always fun to learn, I think.
Yeah. And it's fun, like Isabel was saying, like when someone knows something and the other doesn't know, like interacting with each other, um, like helping each other, and it's exciting, like the way that we have the community, like we create a new friendships because, like trying to learn something because we don't understand. So that's amazing. And yes, I agree with Isabel also for the lives because, I never saw myself be in front of a camera, like I always like to be behind, But like I say, like it's part of the business, so you gotta learn how to do it. So for me too, it was a learning process, and I'm still not there. Like especially, when like I'm here on the doing this kind of life, I'm okay. But if I have to do in a life outside, like when people are seeing me, I'm still shy to do that. So I'm kind of like very reserved person. Um, but yeah, the when I started the live, I started to do recordings first because I wasn't used to have to see myself in camera. So that was a learning process. Now I'm okay, but like I said, I still have to learn the other way, and get confidence doing it outside, which something that Isabel is very comfortable though.
No, not really. I mean, I try like not to let it bother me. Like I said, before I couldn't do it because my voice, it just left me like, because I was so scared to do it. Now, when I do it, I still see people looking at me, but it doesn't really put me at a freezing point. Like, I'm like, okay, they know I'm doing something, but I keep going. Like, I don't let it get to me as bad as I did at the beginning. But I'm still learning, and I think one of the things I need to learn more about doing my lives is really not losing focus when other people are watching, because I tend to do that when I see people watching me. It's like my mind leaves me and I forget what I was talking about, and I got to do better about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my first experience when I was doing the live. And I was comfortable not having anyone looking at me. But then one night I had one person, and that's it. My thoughts also were lost at that time. But yeah.
And I
Um
think I feel more comfortable doing mine in my own language. When I do it in Spanish, I tend to do better. I concentrate more, and I feel because I know my language a lot more. Like I can speak English and I understand it and everything, but not to the point where I can have like this all these ideas coming up to me as easy as they come to me when I'm thinking and doing things in Spanish. So it's just, I don't know. So sometimes I think in English, but most of the time I think in Spanish. And my day to day life here at home is like talking Spanglish. So I don't talk English or Spanish. It's like whatever comes out, and it's a mixture. And we're okay with that because we know that that happens. But when I'm doing a live, I try to either do it in one language or the other.
Yeah, or Spanglish. Okay, so the next point. So the importance of patience and persistence. Yeah, so this one is very important. Yeah, especially when
Yes.
you're doing your online business. Patience was one of the first things that I learned, because like anybody, you want to start your online business and you want to do it fast. You want to see results fast and all that, right? But unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. I mean, some people are lucky, and for them, it works really fast. For other people, like us, it might take some time. So for me, for example, like when I started my training, like I was going really fast, because our training is so amazing, but at the same time, it's so how do you say that? It's very pack of knowledge with knowledge, that you're getting, for each uh, subject that you have. So I did all my first training, and then I was supposed to learn advertising. And then I saw the tabs and I said, okay, well, it's not too long. But when I opened the tabs for the advertising, it was like huge. And that kind of like, I got a little frustrated because, like I was hoping to start like right away, right? But then, like a friend in the community, that's why I say, the support of the community, that's something that I love about this business because, she talked to me because, like she started the business ahead of me. So she already went through that. So then she passed her knowledge to me saying, you have to learn to have patience, patience with yourself because, even though you want to learn something fast, sometimes, it doesn't happen that way, because it's something new. Like I say, like advertising for me was totally a new world for me. So I had to learn that. Um, so then after that, she say, like, and you also have to have patience with business because, like, um, every business, it doesn't take right away, like, yes, you start building your business and eventually will take off, right? I had to learn that. So I did learn that. So, and the persistence, is not giving up, not giving up on your business, because as you do your business, you're going to find struggles, in different ways, but what you don't have to do is give up. You have to keep going, and learn from that struggle that you had. Like, for example, my first one, when I did my first advertising, I got a flag by YouTube. It wasn't really my fault. It was just like a word means two different things, and what I meant, it was, more like um, investing in time, but YouTube thought that it was investing in finance, so that's like a flag word. Um so then, like I was a little bit um sad, because, like I it was my first ad, and then, I got flagged, and then I was worried, like that YouTube will stop, for completely. So then, I couldn't do advertising on YouTube. So that was my concern, and I was new, so I didn't know how things were. So then, like another friend of the community, she helped me, like overcome that struggle that I had. And then so I started to search around, the community and ask around, and that's how I found the solution, and doing the research on Google too. So I was able to fix the problem. So yes, so persistent, don't give up just because you have a struggle. You gotta keep going. Things are gonna happen in your life, but that's not the end of the world. You always have to find a solution, a way out. Think on outside of the box. So, and be persistent, don't give up. That's one of the things that I tell you.
Yeah, so our stories are very different because I wasn't tech savvy, and Sandy, on the other hand, she was tech savvy, and she had some knowledge already about how to do some of the stuff. And I think that's where the patience had to come in for me, because I had to start from scratch, you know. I had to learn everything. And yes, everybody wants to see results right away. But how can you see results when you're learning? You know, you don't know much, and you're expecting to have, you know, to see your business grow so fast when you don't really have that knowledge. And I think that's the difference between the people that come and they take off really fast. Is because they already did that, you know, they already went through that curve, and so they already brought some knowledge, they already had some experience, and so that's going to help them to do better. But for me, that I didn't know anything, you know, and I'm learning how to run a computer, how to work online, how to you know, do lives, do videos, make my own content. It's a little bit overwhelming at the beginning when you don't have any of the knowledge, or you don't have any prior experience with computers and all this. But you have to be patient. You can do it. You know, we're capable of learning if you have the patience to take one thing at a time. You know, every bit helps, but you have to really set your mind on the learning, and think about what things you've got to tackle. Don't worry too much about what's coming or what you want right away. Think about the things that you're learning, and enjoy and really put your mind into it. Because if you're thinking ahead and you're always thinking about what, you know, in front of you or what you want, you're not going to really do well on the things that you have at hand, because you're worried about things that you're not there yet. So take your time, you know, and don't give up. Yes, it's overwhelming, but if you do it one thing at a time, and you really take the time to understand every part of it, then you'll be okay. You know, there's times, believe me, because I have a full-time job, and I was doing the training and I was working my job. And so I did the training at night. And every time I felt like, you know, today I don't have time. I'm tired. I don't want to do it. But then I was like, if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? Because I knew I had to work every day. So I couldn't just leave it for another time, because every day was going to be the same. So I forced myself to do my training every day. I did a little bit of it, and I got it done, you know. But I had to be persistent, and I had to push myself to do things I didn't want to do at the time, because I was tired. But, you know, we can set our mind to either, okay, no, today's not a day. I don't want to do it today. Or yes, make yourself do it. And then at the end, you're going to feel good. You're going to feel accomplished, that you push yourself, you got it done, and you feel good at the end. So yes, don't give up at your first challenge, you know. Just keep pushing yourself, and you will get to where you want to get.
Yes. Okay, so the next one is strategies for embracing the learning curve. So for this, I would say, like based on my experience, um, one of the things, getting feedback from other people, like from what you do, like for example, in our community, we have, like reviews of video ad script, when we start creating, so they help us with that and they give us feedback, in terms of creating that. Also, when we have our business page, we have a this workshop for that, where you bring your you register, so to have your business page. And then it's good, when you have other people that can see from outside, because when you're looking at your own for example, your own business page, right? You're doing it and you think, oh, it's good, but when someone else from outside is looking your business page, they have a better perspective, because they are seeing, from another point of view. So then you have to listen to what they say, and take the feedback that they give, and adjust accordingly, right? So yeah, so learn, how to appreciate the feedback that you're getting from other people, so you can become better every time, and still improving in your business. The other thing that I would say for is celebrating every milestone. You know, this is one of the things that, we sometimes we neglect in our business, or in our, even in our lives. We tend to think, oh, let's just celebrate the big events. But in reality, like, if you think about it, every little thing that you accomplish, it's a celebration. And that really motivates you to keep going, like, to be able to accomplish. For example, we get to do these lives, like before we couldn't do it. So that's a big accomplishment, a big celebration, for us, because, even though, it might not seem something so big, for us it's big, because, like, I wasn't able to see myself, in front of the camera. Like, I always wanted to be behind. So this is a celebration for me to be able to do that today. And I seen, like, for example, like, when I started the business, and where I am today, I'm not the same person. So that's another celebration. As you go with your business journey, you start learning new things, self-development, about yourself, and through audios and books and speakers and all that. And that helps you grow as a person and as a business owner. So because of that, you are not the same person you were at the beginning. So that's another celebration, because, you start gaining confidence on yourself, that you didn't have before. You maybe had a little bit, but certain things, you were not feeling confident. So now, you're gaining that confidence. So yeah, so that's another strategy for embracing the learning curve that I can give you.
Yeah, I think we're different after we start doing this because our mind starts thinking, or we're feeding our mind different things. Like before I did the business, I had a lot of free time, which now I feel like I don't have any free time. But before I had so much free time, and I was doing nothing for that. Nothing productive, nothing that was helping me grow. Like watching movies or just wasting time on the Facebook, TikTok, whatever, just looking at what other people are posting or whatever. That what is that giving me? It's not giving me anything. I did a lot of outdoor stuff before I started my business. Like I actually played some sports and I used to go hiking and do all of that stuff. But now I think the difference is because we are in this and we're trying to be a better version of ourselves. Now we're reading books, we're doing things that are actually helping our mindset and our mind grow, and see things that we didn't see before, or maybe we see things now because we're thinking different too. So the learning curve is everything, because when you decide to take something, if you're serious about it, you're going to try to find ways to improve and to do things better and to really push yourself to do things that you're not really comfortable doing, because we were not comfortable doing this before, doing these lives, but we're doing them now. Yet at the beginning we felt like our hearts were about to come out of our chest, because we were so how do you call it, we were so worried and concerned about what other people were thinking, about what people gonna say. Are we gonna do okay? Are we gonna be able to say the right things? And now it's not that we don't get nervous, it's just that all of those things that didn't really help us are not there anymore. I'm not concerned about what people are going to think anymore, because I know what I want for me. I know what I want for my family. And I know that I'm improving every day by doing the things that I'm doing. So the learning curve is something that, we take on when we first start. And every day we're learning and we're meeting people, and we know where to get feedback. When you get surrounded by the right people, you know that they're going to give you the feedback that is going to change for better. They're not gonna criticize you. They're not gonna, go behind your back and say the things like other people do, like in your life when you're not doing something productive and you're not like, it's different when you have this community because everybody's so honest and caring, and they all want to see you succeed. So that's the difference between surrounding your people with or surrounding yourself with the right people than before, when I was surrounded with the people that all they want to do is go out and, okay, let's go shopping, or let's go party, or let's go do these things that I'm not gaining anything out of. I'm not learning anything out of that. So now I have a group of people, I have a group of friends, that we're working together towards something that we all want. We want to grow, we want to achieve great things, and we want our business to be good and to grow for all of us, not just for one of us.
Yes. One thing that you touched that I like is the fact. Oh my God, my thought it's gone. But I'm gonna talk about something else. So yeah, you talk about the community. When the community helps, to like to be better. Like for example, like everyone brings something. It doesn't matter like if you're ahead of the game or you just started the business. Everyone brings something to the community and knowledge. So everyone is
Mhm.
important. So that's what I love about the business. Like we embracing, like everyone. Like the learning from anyone. Like whatever they know, can share. And we can learn from each other. um the other thing that you were mentioning, that's what I wanted to talk about, that you mentioned about, I think it was oh yes, now I remember. Okay, so it's about, like for example, we're exposing ourselves, right now, saying, our experience and all that. But we are here because, we want to inspire those who are watching us, that are out there, that we're like you. We're just same normal people, like you. We're just doing our business, we're sharing our experience. So you guys don't feel like you're not capable of doing this, because you are. uh, I I didn't know about online business. Like I never thought. I mean, I was looking for something, but I didn't know how it works and all that. So when I came into this business, I learned a lot of stuff, and I'm still learning. Like you never stop learning, because this has to do with technology. So and all the trends and changes. So yeah, so you're always learning. But yeah, it's just by showing ourselves our experience and all that, you get to see, you're not the only one. We're humans like you, normal people. So you can learn from our experience. And I'm sure that some of the things that we say you might relate. It might not be, the online business, but it might be, in your personal life. So yeah, so we just want to, share what we experience, in our normal online business and now.
I think, Sandy, too, when we, at least I can speak for myself, when I started looking for something else to do, to where it wasn't gonna take so much, I didn't want to be away from my kids. That's the thing. I was looking for something I could do from home, but I was looking for a job, like something I could do for somebody else. My mindset was always doing work for somebody else. I wasn't thinking about finding an opportunity to have my own business. And so when this came across, you know, I was full of fear because I was like, I don't know anything. I have no prior experience. I don't know anything about technology. And I think that's what really got to me, because I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to do it, because I was thinking, okay, if I work for somebody else, they're going to give me training, they're going to tell me what to do, and I'll be able to do it. But the same applies to this business. You know, we came, we didn't know anything. They gave us the training, and believe me, the training is well explained. Like I have never
Mhm.
seen a training so detailed. that is so easy to learn, and you're working on your own terms. You're making your own schedule. You decide where you want to work from. Um, but you have to do the work. I think that's the thing. There's a thin line there that you don't want to cross. You don't want to think, okay, I have a business, and today I don't feel like working, so I'm not going to do it. So you have to be very disciplined about running your business and actually doing the work, because otherwise you're not going to get anywhere. And I think that's where I fell at the beginning, um, because I wasn't really pushing myself, because I'm like, well, this is mine. Nobody's going to tell me anything. So if I want to, keep doing the training every day, I'll do it. If not, I'll do it when I have time. And that's where I decided, it doesn't matter if I'm tired or not, I'm going to have to do it every night. And that's what I did. But yeah, you have to be really careful about that too. You have to really put the time in. Nobody's watching you. Nobody's going to tell you what to do, but you want to do this. You want to do this for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point because like it's we like because of the it's your business, I think you have a lot of time, then you get unplugged from the business. And that's hard, when you don't have that habit, like you say, of
Mhm.
getting plugged in. So that's why, like it's important, to, like, for example, we have the masterminds on Tuesdays and Wednesday. Thursdays for the new business owners, and then Wednesdays for everyone. And those are good to go because like you watch success stories from people in our business community, and that really inspires you and motivates you to keep going. And that's why you need to be plugged into the system, because like that keeps you going and reach your goal, because it's so easily when you don't have that habit to get sidetracked and then give up what you were really fighting for, and looking for. So yeah, so try to, keep that habit, even if you put, just like 30 minutes or an hour, but do it, because that's gonna create that habit to keep doing your business, or anything that you're doing in life, because that's the same thing. I'm guilty when it comes to do exercise. Like I would start and then I would stop, and to get back on again to do exercise, it's hard for me. So I'm guilty on that. So okay, so the next point. So learning from failures. So yeah, this one is a good one. Yeah, because the things, like many times we think, like, oh, it's a failure, and then we see it as a negative side, a negative thing. But in reality, it's not a negative thing. It depends, like how you see it. So this is where it comes to mindset again. Um, because like every failure, there's always something positive out of it. It's a learning experience that you got from there, so you're not going to do the same mistake again. So failures are don't take it as negative, because it's something that is very positive. Sometimes, if we don't have failures, then sometimes we don't learn what we're supposed to learn. And sometimes, those failures are like a wake-up call for you, you know that you need to react, you need to wake up from what you're doing right now. So sometimes, like, well, I would say God, because I believe in God, sometimes God will put you little stones along the way, but for you to react, because you're not going the proper way. So he's just trying to change the path that you're going to the correct path. So that's another thing that I would say, like, from anything that happened to your life, there's always a positive side. Always. I think it's part of the balance in life. You always have negative and positive. Okay. So if you got something negative, there's always positive that you can find. It's just that you have to have that open mindset to find out what it is. Sometimes, like, we have to learn. For example, like, for example, yeah, one of the things that I learned from my failures is communication. I think that's something that I still working on. Like, I wasn't very good at communicating. you know. That's something that I had struggled with. And, like as I go, I'm still learning, and I'm trying to get better at that. But that's something, I learned from failures in the past. Um, so there's always something that, like you have to learn from. Yeah, either like sometimes the failures could be, like learning something new, sometimes because you're not on the right path and you have to change. Like, for example, sometimes you're working on the same job, which is not really doing something good for you. You got to move on from that job, but you are sometimes you're afraid to move on, or sometimes you feel so comfortable being there that you rather stay there. But sometimes God make that move for you, and then it change your path. But you take it as a negative because you don't understand at the moment. But if you, as time pass and you look back to your life, you will see, okay, now I understand why that happened to me. And that's the fun thing, learning from the past, and take those things that you learn from the past and apply to your present and future. So that's what I can share.
Yeah, there's always going to be obstacles when you're trying to do something different, when you're trying to do something good, when you're trying to really focus on having a better life. Like there's always obstacles, and you can either see them as opportunities for growth, for improvement, or you can see them as failures and let them stop you, and you're not going to go anywhere anymore because you don't want to feel that again. You don't want to feel that failure. But really, there's no such thing as failure. There's always learning stones. You can learn from everything in life. Like, when I first started doing this and I started doing my lives and I started loading like videos and stuff on my pages, I had so many negative comments. Like people were so rude about making comments about what are you talking about? Where are you from? Like from what did I say? Like I was from a deserted place that I never talked to anybody. Eh, I was like a cave woman, basically, the way they put it, because I didn't know what I was saying, or the things that I say didn't make sense. And people were always like commenting bad things, but I don't let that stop me. And even now, I still have that. Some people are just, they're not mad at you. It's not you, it's them. And you have to be able to see that. Like, I know I'm not doing anything wrong. And yes, I'm not an expert. Yes, I could do things better. Yes. But at the same time, they're mad at life. And so they're just looking to see a way to take that out of themselves, hurting somebody else. But at the end, it's my decision if I'm gonna let them hurt me, or if I'm just gonna keep going. So when you're doing things like on social media, yeah, you're open to this kind of stuff, because everybody's able to put a comment or to say something negative. But don't let that stop you. Use that as encouragement, and push yourself and prove that you can do things, and that you can do better, and that people, their opinion is just theirs. It has nothing to do with you. So you have to be able to overcome that, and really focus on you. Don't let that get to you. So failures are learnings. We're just learning every day, and every day when you see something, or you feel like you can't do something, or you did something but you didn't do it right. Because believe me, at the beginning, like I said, I had no computer experience either. And when I was trying to make my own content, and I was trying to, like, okay, I want it this way, but I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to put things in the right place. I didn't know how to have my text right. And it was very discouraging at the beginning. And if I felt bad, like I'm not going to be able to do this because I don't know how to do it. But I kept learning. I kept pushing myself. And till today, I'm still learning every day. And every day I'm like, oh, I didn't know I could do this way, or I didn't know I could do that. But that's just me. I'm just trying to learn. And when I don't know how to do something, I always reach out to some people that do know how to do it. I ask my kids. I'm asking, because I want to learn. I'm not stopping. I'm not going to let anybody stop me just because they're going to tell me something negative. I know I'm capable. I know I can learn. I just have, if I set my mind on something, I know I can do it. So just not letting negative things or failures stop me from where I want to go.
Yeah. Okay, so the next point is the role of a support system. So yeah, when it comes to embracing the learning curve, this is a good point. The role of a support system. So this is something that we are lucky to have in this community. Be able to have a mentor, be able to have a coach, and the community, the global community that we have. So you always have that support to help you along the way, with, like we mentioned before, with the struggles that we have, either the training or whatever. Sometimes, it could be like emotional support, because, like we are humans, sometimes, it could be something personal in our lives, and we're just trying to support each other. Or sometimes, it could be, we have a breakdown in our business journey, where you feel down and you feel like, okay, my business not working, and then you have the community that supports you and that brings your motivation up and keeps you, pushing to keep going, and don't give up. And then you have also, sometimes, like I say, like you have a question for the training that you don't understand and you need some help, and then you ask someone in the community. And that's the other thing that, like I love, because we are a global community, because we are around the globe. We have business owners around the globe, so our community is like 24/7. Anytime you go, there's gonna be someone there to help you. And you build that friendship, that new connection. So now we have met so many people, like around the globe, like in different places of the world, like UK, Portugal, Switzerland, Hawaii, etc. So this is, the role of a support system when it comes to embracing the learning curve is very important in someone's journey, in someone's personal, situation too, because the community is always there. Your mentor, your coach, they're there to support you along the way on your journey.
Yeah, yeah, that's very important. Having a supportive system. Is the difference between growing and being really focused on what you want to do. When you find the people that you can work with, and like you said, we have our community, and our community has over 200,000 members. But within that community, you always find the people that you feel comfortable working with. And that makes such a difference, because when you're down, when sometimes you need encouragement, sometimes you need somebody to really give you a good word, to make you feel better, to lift you up. And there's nobody else better than somebody from the community, because they know what you're going through. They know how to help you feel better. And so having a support system, you have your mentor, because we all have a mentor, and they're there for you, especially at the beginning when you're learning and doing all the training. They're the best source to go to and ask for help if you don't know how to do something. We have our coaches, and then all the connections that we're making, all the people that we're meeting, all the people that we're making friendships with. So they're always going to be by our side, helping us and encouraging us to do better. And that's the difference between our community and somewhere else, where
Mhm.
you're basically on your own and you don't have anybody to help you with the things that you're struggling with, or to give you a word of encouragement if you're feeling down. Because even in normal life, we don't feel great, and we don't feel happy, and we don't jump out of the bed of it enjoyment every day. We're not just full of joy. Every day is different. Sometimes we wake up and we feel down, and we need somebody to just make us feel
Cheer
better.
you up.
Yes. And so that's the difference between our community, because they're always there. And all our business partners, like I said, that we already met, and we have this good relationship, a friendship, they're always going to be there for us. And I've been there so many times because, like I said, I had my learning curve was different from so many. But yeah, there's so many testimonials in our community, from people that had it worse than me at the beginning. I feel like I didn't know much. I didn't know anything about computers. I didn't know anything about social media. But there's people that had it worse than me, and yet they're doing so good, and they have learned so much, and they're great leaders nowadays. So that's the difference between, if they would have given up at the first obstacle that they had, they we would have known that their awesome story and all the things that they went through to get to where they are today. So it's all up to us, like, how much do we want to change? How much do we want to go through this uncomfortable phase, to get to the better side of life? Because nothing's going to change. Nothing will change if we don't make the change. We have to make the change to be able to see different results, because we're going to see the same thing over and over until we decide to really change things in our lives.
Yeah. And talking about the community, like, well, there's two things that you touched there, like having a mentor and coach, that we have there all the time for us, when we need them. That's amazing, because you mentioned, like other businesses, you don't have that. I mean, if
Mhm.
you gotta pay for it,
Yes.
so it's not really like you get it for free. And in our communities, it's for free that you're getting a mentor and a coach. You pay only the $149, the one-time membership. That's it. You got access to everything for life, so there's no like a monthly fee every time. So that's one thing that I want to touch. And the other one was, I think it was, what was the last thing that you mentioned?
I don't remember about, if you don't change, you're not going to see different results.
No, no, wasn't that. Okay, let's see if I can remember. Well, like the fee of the membership, that was one of the things. And the other thing that you mentioned was, I think it was about the members. Oh, I can't remember. I lost my thought. But um,
Or was it about the testimonials about the people that had it, a rough start, and they are doing good, and they're great leaders nowadays?
I can't remember. I
Okay.
forgot. Well, okay, so let's go. If I remember, then I'll say it. Okay, so the next point is maintaining a growth mindset. So this one, yeah, so when it comes to embracing the learning curve, this one is an important one. So that's why, like, feeding your mindset all the time is very important, because that's how you overcome any obstacles that comes towards you, you know. Or for example, like sometimes, like, many times, you face a problem, and then to you, like, if you don't have an open mindset, you will think, like, okay, there's no solution for this. But there's always a solution for any problem. But that's how you need to work on your mindset, because, like, if you think outside of the box, you will find a solution, you know. So maintaining a growth mindset is very important to keep feeding, with, like, speakers that motivate you, like, those are good ones. Also, like with audiobooks, um, or if you love to read, like those ones are, there's so many good books out there, that it will help you, to keep growing, and feeding your mindset. We also have podcasts, that's another good one, like, you can listen, even when you're doing your house chores, or or you're working, you can listen to that. um, so it's very important to have a growth mindset, because if you don't have a growth mindset, then you will feel stuck when you have an obstacle. To you, it will be like the end of the world, and you don't want to be on that point, because it's you don't grow, you don't push forward, you know, because you see that there's no way out. But there's always a way out. We just have to keep, you know, looking for a solution, you know, at the moment. You know, it might not come up right away, but you know, there's always a solution. And you know, when we learn about other people, when we watch things, when we hear things, you know, that's how we keep growing, you know. It's not hearing just anything, you know, you gotta always hear and take the positive things, because there's gonna be other negative things too, you know, but you take the positive things and that learn from that, because you can learn from anyone. I always say, you know, you can even learn from a baby, you know. A baby will show you so many things that, you know, as an adult we don't do, and a baby will do, you know. For example, kindness, you know, that's a good thing that you can learn from a baby, you know. um because baby, they don't see any difference. They only see a people, someone, you know, and that's how they relate to the person. So yeah, so grow maintaining a growth mindset is very important, you know, like to keep pushing forward, to overcome obstacles, you know, and learn, you know, from those failures, like we mentioned before, you know, seeing them, you know, like as an opportunities, you know, to move ahead on with your life or your business.
Yeah, yeah, like you mentioned, there's so many free resources to feed your mind. You just got to choose the right things. But there's so many great people that have their stuff free. If you go on YouTube, you can find so many things to feed your mind and to change the way you think. But you have to decide, okay, today instead of watching a movie, or today instead of just listening to music, let me go and look for a podcast while I'm doing, dinner, while I'm doing dishes. I don't know. Just find the right thing to listen to that will help you um, change the way you think, change your mindset. And something that you were saying that I really like is, kids have no evil. They don't see evil. All they see is happiness. They see things that they want to do, and they're always full of laughter and always so happy, because they don't know any different. So, I have my grandson, he's 3, and when he's with me, my day is nonstop, because he wants to do everything and he loves to go outside. And he's always making me laugh with all these things that he wants to do or that he's doing. And I'm like, how does he get these ideas? And how does he stay happy all the time, But that's the difference between us, that sometimes I think we focus too much on the things that we want, but we're not doing anything to get them. We're not taking action. We're not really doing the work to get the things. As adults, we know that if we want something, we have to put the work in. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. But yet, even though we know the answer, we always hesitate, and we always put things aside, and we're like, not today. I'll start it tomorrow. I know how it is, because, I'm there too. Every day I have to make decisions, and I have to push myself to do things that I really don't want to do. I'd rather be doing something else, something fun. But what am I going to get? I know I have to push myself. I know I have to learn new things. I have to learn new skills. I have to surround myself but with the right people if I want to see a difference. So, it's a decision we have to make, like they say, you're not going to see anything different unless you really put a change, you start changing. And yes, it's kind of out of your comfort zone. It doesn't feel good when you see all your family sending pictures, and they're, playing or out in the beach, or they're in the park, they're in the pool, they're out having fun, and you have to do work. But after you do it, and you know that you learned something, and that's going to help you get closer to your goal, it feels good, you know It's not gonna feel right away. Yeah, I don't feel good when I see them, and they're like, "Why didn't you come?" or "Why are you not here with us?" And I'm like, "Because I have something to do." And that's something hard for them to understand. Like they think I can always leave everything, drop everything, and just go, But I have responsibilities that I have to meet, and it's with myself. I told myself I was going to do this, that I was going to improve, that I was going to change, and I have to put in the work every day.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, yes, we commit to the business, and we sacrifice, those moments right now, to be able to reach our goals. It's not gonna be forever, so it's gonna be for maybe 2 3 years, that we're doing that. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that you're neglecting your family. It's just that you're not gonna be able to spend as much time as you used to spend, because now you have to allocate some time for your business in order to be able to have that vast time, in the future. Be able to enjoy, be able to travel together as a family together, do a lot of things together. Well, you don't have to worry about, like, oh, I have to go to work, like, no, you don't have to go to work. You have your 24 hours time with your family and enjoying, but yeah, it takes some sacrifice at the beginning, of having, to share part of the time that you had allocated, more, to your family. Now you have to divide it with your business, but it's a sacrifice that, like we're doing, because we want to have a better life balance, with our family, with our business, and be able to enjoy life, because, that's what it matters the most. Create memories with your family, with your loved ones, um, so in order to do that, we have to sacrifice on doing what we're doing, because, as you see, like, if we keep going, working on our job, that's not gonna take us anywhere, because you see, all the prices are going up, and technology are replacing also, jobs for so many people. And what are you gonna do then, if you don't have a plan B, that extra side of income. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So eventually, like, my goal, eventually is, transition from my film industry and be able to do this full time, and being able to enjoy, with my family, my parents, and travel, that I love to travel.
Yeah, especially us, I think, because we're immigrant, we're so always thinking about traveling, either to go see family, to go see new places, or I always think about traveling with my family and with my parents, because my parents did so much for me, and believe me, when we were growing up, we had so little that I want them to see, the world. I want them to see that, there's so much beauty, there's so much stuff that they were not able to do, because I'm one of seven. My parents didn't have much, but they had a lot of children, and so they were always tied up working, trying to provide for us. That they left early in the morning at dawn and came back late at night, and they didn't have much time to go out on vacation and to enjoy. They never had that money to go on vacation and enjoy what their work, all the things that they were doing. So now, that's what I want to do. That's my plan. I want to show them, and I want to give them everything that they couldn't have before. So I still have time. I spend time with my family, with my siblings, with my parents, but I can't spend every day and every moment with them like they would like me to. And I did that before, so now it's really hard for them to understand, and it's hard for me not to be with them. But
Hmm.
I'm trying to do, to have a better life where I can offer them more. So that's the difference between, before, when I had my mindset just set on the day, like, okay, today we're gonna go have fun. Today is gonna be, a day of outdoors, whatever. And I never stopped to think about the future, what I really wanted out of life. And now I do. I know what I want, and I got to focus on getting that. I got to work for that.
Yeah. Okay, so we have arrived to the end of our live. So just another reminder for our live webinar is every Tuesday and Thursday, so from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. PST. So this one that I'll show you on the screen right now is it was our live webinar on Thursday. So if you want to watch the Thursday replay webinar, you can register in our website that will appear on the screen after we finish to show panels here. Um, so you can register and then you can watch the replay. And then, for example, if your English is not that strong, that's not a problem. The replay will have subtitles. Okay, so again, so the our host for this past Thursday live was Tina. She's a retired business development manager. And then we have Monica, so one the first panelist. She's a former retail manager. And then we have Jay, former educator. Then Patricia, she's a healthcare worker. Then we have Grace, former restaurant manager. Hadisa, healthcare insurance administrator. Linda, healthcare worker. And Lady, registered nurse. And as you see, uh, all of our business owners are from different professions, different backgrounds, different ethnicities and different places around the globe. So yeah, so this is an opportunity that we are showing you, so you can register in our websites that appear on the screen with your name and email address, and we'll send you the invitation to watch the replay from Thursday. And then also without registration, it will give you also access to the live webinar on Tuesday and Thursday. And you can learn more about our business plan, and you can hear more successful stories, from business owners of the community. You also get an invitation to our private Facebook group where we have more information about the business. And also, we have more successful people that are doing, their stories and the results that you can watch in there. And then you can ask questions, and you're going to browse around the group too. And we want to invite you to our Facebook business page that appear on the screen. So if you want to follow us and get to know us a little bit more, then you can follow on that page and learn more about the business that we do. Um, yeah, and we want to thank all the viewers that we had today, and for those watching the replay. So yeah, so thank you so much for being with us today and for your likes and your comments. We really appreciate it. And like if you can let us know when you tune in, where you're watching from, just put it in the comments there, so we know, and we can show, we're global. Also, do you want to say something else, Isabel?
Yeah, if you guys want to register to see the replay, our websites are down here. When you register, you're not joining the business. You're only registering to receive the information. You receive our webinar, and you find out the details about our business plan. That doesn't mean you're joining the business. There's steps to follow, and the first step is to register to see the webinar. And after that, if you decide that you like it, if you want to join, then that's a different step that you would have to do after that. It has nothing to do with your email and your name when you first register.
Yes, thank you for the clarification, Isabel. And even, like after you decided, for example, to proceed and pay the $149, that even then, doesn't mean that you have joined the business. It's just that you're getting to know what exactly, are our different, income streams and all that. So you get to know really, our business, what it is. And then you have 30 days to decide at that time, if you want to join the business or if that's not for you. So um, there's no really, like you have to join, like we give you the option. It's up to you to decide. We just give you the information and you decide at that moment, if you decide to proceed and join the business or if you don't. So yeah, it's 30 days refundable, the $149. As long as you don't go with the coaching call, you will get your money back. So if you decide to proceed with the business, then you go with the coaching call. So yeah, so we just wanted to clarify that. So thank you, Isabel, because yeah, that's a good point. Because I think a lot of people think that just because they register in the website or like joining the business, but that's not the case. This is just like a free information, so people get to see, what we do, what is the business about, and they hear, the testimonial from the business owners of the community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't want to register because they feel like that we're holding them to something. That's not
Mhm.
true. When you register, it has nothing to do. It's just to receive the webinar. So don't worry. You're not buying anything. You don't have to pay for anything. It's absolutely free to register and get the webinar. So um, there's no what do you call it? We're not really holding you to anything at that time. You just get the information and decide if this is for you.
Okay, so that's it. Again, thank you everyone. Thank you all the viewers for watching it today. Thank you for all your likes and loves emojis that we get and your comments. We really appreciate it. So until the next episode of the Global Digital Success Talk. Bye everyone. Have a great Sunday.